Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, How Can I Plan My Future? An Engineer's Perspective. My name is Handan Akarsu Scarabello. I'm going to be your moderator for today's session. And before we begin, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you joining us from Germany, Italy, and Turkey. And I would like to say that we are delighted to have you with us and appreciate your interest and time in this Monday evening. And our webinar today is brought to you by InsPower, an Erasmus Plus youth project. Our project InsPower is dedicated to empowering young people and also the ones who work with young people by providing them with the tools and skills to support them effectively. And we are doing this through coaching and soft skills. Our project started on this March, and we are going to implement the project activities the next 17 months from now on. And I know many of you, but for the ones who may not know me, I would like to introduce myself as a starter. And I was born and raised in Ankara, Turkey. I am having a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering and a master's degree again in engineering. And I have another degree in business administration. My professional journey did not continue how it started, as you can see. I am not doing engineering as a job. I started as a chemical engineer, and then I transitioned to the training expert. I worked 6 years in Ministry of Labor in Turkey. And I was thinking I'm going to retire from this job. However, in 2018, I resigned and moved to Treviso, Italy, where I continue my career as international professional coach, European project consultant, trainer, facilitator, and founder of a social innovation association, SITES, which is one of the partners of this wonderful project. As you can see, life is full of unexpected events, as it is. And I would like to introduce you also our project team, who will be with us today. Tuba, we have Tuba Tuncak, our project coordinator and project manager of Toll Academy. She's from Germany. And I cannot see all of you, but we have Giray from Görkem Percussion from Turkey, who is also the project manager of Görkem Percussion. We designed and we are implementing this project together with this team. And today I'm here as your moderator and also the project manager of SITES. Together, we are trying to promote the hopes, expectations, visions, and motivations for young people, especially not only for young people, also for us, for the future, especially in this highly uncertain and very quickly changing era. As part of InsPower, also, I would like to say what we did until now. We have completed our first part of the training that we are going to have some wonderful coaches in the future for young people. And we will continue also next month in September. And also we have launched our first podcast in YouTube channel. Maybe Tuba, you can share the link of our YouTube channel so you can follow, you can see the content that we are producing especially for young people, but according to me, for all of us. We are going to produce really good content. And the first one, I'm really suggesting you, I'm not saying this because it's our project, but it is really nice to listen. And I'm sure we are going to learn something from that. You can find us also on Instagram under the name of InsPower Project. And we are going to share with you the links of both social media. And this one also for the people who cannot join today, this webinar will be also published on YouTube channel. So whenever you want, you can listen and watch the webinar. If you can, yeah, thank you. So we are going to be together approximately 2 hours today. We are encouraging you to participate actively during the webinar, which means you can contribute with your comments, ideas, and questions through chat. We are going to address all of them at the end of the session. And today, finally, we are hosting Dr. Görkem Giray. He is an accomplished software engineer and IT executive. Today, he will share his insights and experiences with us on planning for the future as an engineer, an engineer's perspective. Of course, here we are going to learn about engineering a bit, the engineering foundations, but also we are using this as a metaphors. As you know, as a coach, we like to use metaphors, and we are going to understand how we can plan our future from an engineer perspective. And I would like to do a short introduction about Görkem. He was born in Ankara and raised in Izmir, in Turkey. He holds a Bachelor of Science and PhD in Computer Engineering, and he has a Master of Business Administration degree. He also earned an undergraduate degree in philosophy. We are going to speak about this today through distance education. And he has been working in IT-related positions for approximately 25 years. He has started his career as a software engineer and worked in finance and telecommunication companies. Currently, he is working as an IT executive in a multinational company. Besides, he is also a professor. He gave lectures on software engineering at 3 universities until now. He is married and he is a father of 15-year-old boy. Within the next 2 hours with him, we will explore many topics, including the importance of engineering foundations. We are going to speak about soft skills. We are going to speak their famous terms, vision and planning and acting, essential skills for achieving our goals, and much more we will see during the chat. As I said, we will note your questions and comments, and we are going to, Görkem especially is going to address them at the end of the session. And let's get started. Görkem, thank you for being here with us today. It's really nice to have you. I'm really
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm really happy to do it with you, this chat. And I'm really curious about a lot of points. So if you are ready, I would like to ask you, I shortly introduced you, but I would like that you're introducing yourself. If you can share a bit personal features of you, what will you say?
Okay. Again, thank you very much. And thank you very much for having me here. So I hope that we will be sharing some fruitful ideas, some pieces of information that will be making our young friends to think. So before I start, I would like to just mention a disclaimer. Okay, so as you mentioned, I'm a software engineer, computer engineer. So my formal education is on engineering. So that's why all of the ideas I'm presenting are experiences from me. So they are not ready to use recipes. So that's why I would like to just remind my friends, young friends, saying that, so please consider all of the ideas, all of the pieces of information I'm sharing here just to start thinking. So they are not ready to use recipes, and they are very personal. Okay, so I would like to make this disclaimer before I start. So you asked my features, my traits. Actually, this question is also an inspiring one. So instead of having a classical introduction, a classical history of me, after hearing your question, so I can come up with the first trait that I can mention in a positive way is trustable. So integrity and honesty are core to my life, to my both professional and personal life. So it makes me a reliable partner, both in my personal and professional life. So also interconnected with this one, I think that I'm also friendly. So I enjoy building relationships, both socially in my private life, also with my friends in the workplace, in my company as well. So it also fosters a collaborative and positive work environment for me. Also, I'm trying to be empathic. So, so we are a part of a larger system. So we are generally playing roles in our lives. So that's why I'm trying to be empathic, to understand and share the feelings of others. So, and it helps me connect on a deeper level with people. And also in my professional life, it provides me an effective workplace in diverse teams as well. Besides, I'm goal-oriented. I can say that. So I generally set clear objectives in my professional life as well as in my academic life as well. And I diligently work towards achieving them. So by doing this, I ensure that I always stay focused and driven. Besides, also interconnected with this one, I'm trying to be disciplined as well. So I believe that maintaining a strong work ethic, also staying organized to consistently deliver high quality results. Of course, these are the positive traits that I can mention, that I can say, okay, I'm doing more or less okay. But of course, if you ask me, so are you perfect? Of course, my answer would be no. So if you ask me, so what are you trying to improve? Time to time, I'm a stressful person. So especially in situations where I'm not very familiar with, so I may become very stressful. So that's why I'm actively working on managing stress, and I'm trying to ensure that I remain calm and effective even in high pressure situations. So this is also important, especially in my professional life as well. So I used to be a kind of a more angry person. So I was getting angry too quickly. So during the last year, so I recognized the importance of maintaining composure, and I'm focused on improving my anger management skills to handle conflicts much more constructively as well. Besides, I'm social in the environments that I'm familiar with, but when I enter in a disfamiliar environment, so I'm not so social as well. So I'm trying to improve that trait of myself as well.
So you are saying you are not perfect. How it is possible?
As everyone else.
Yes, I'm finding it really, really valuable that you are sharing while you are describing yourself also these parts, because time to time when we are seeing successful people like you, it's like you managed everything very well, you know yourself really good, and you improved yourself in very high satisfaction levels. However, you are saying that there are always room for improvement.
Yes,
and
exactly.
You continue to work on this. I'm finding this really important because in my opinion, also we need to embrace the areas of the improvement that we have now. So thank you for describing yourself with all these wonderful descriptions, the definitions. And Görkem, you said that you are software engineer and you are working as a IT executive right now, but
yep.
you were always aware you want this profession. How did you choose to be an engineer?
Yeah. Actually, before coming to my story, I have seen some people, not too many, a few people, who selected their profession by coincidence or consciously at their earlier lives. Let me give an example. One of my friend's nephew started to say that I would like to be a physicist when he was maybe younger than 50. They have a passion for a topic and they know what to be. But I have seen a few examples of them. I'm generally observing that this selection, I mean selection of the profession, is a kind of a sub-journey within our lives as well, while we are growing up. So in this journey, some factors are especially important, such as knowing yourself, your strengths, your interests, options you have or options you may have, learning to make informed estimations, and also luck. So when it comes to my journey, as you can imagine, so it's dedicated to the second option. So I have discovered my profession as a result of a journey. So when I was in high school, at the beginning of high school, towards the end of the first grade, which is ninth grade, my father took me a math instructor outside the school. Those days, I was an average student, even below average, especially performing very badly in math. So I had a couple of one-to-one sessions with this instructor and started to understand ninth grade math, so which is not wow, actually. When I started to understand, started to solve math problems, I started to enjoy studying more. The more I studied, the more I comprehended, the more I enjoyed it. So to expand this enjoyment of math to the other courses, I had to make a selection, of course. What I first did was I eliminated the professions that do not attract me at all, such as medical doctor. It wasn't for me at all due to my personal traits. So I was feeling it very deeply. Lawyer, no, I wasn't able to do it. Or all social sciences, it seemed that it wasn't for me. So one of the fields I was left with was engineering. So then I started to deep dive into the details by asking the question, which engineering disciplines could fit me? So what I did, I tried to explore. So I visited some of the universities I would like to study, and I talked to some people from the engineering disciplines I selected. My final list actually included industrial engineering, computer engineering. So there wasn't any software engineering undergraduate degrees at these times. So I'm talking about 90s. Environmental engineering, math, and statistics. So these are the disciplines that I selected. Okay, these could fit me. Then afterwards, according to the Turkish education system, I just had a nationwide university entrance exam, and I was able to be a computer engineering student at the university. So this is, in a nutshell, my story. But I would like to highlight a couple of points. When I turn back, I would like to underline these, some kind of a lessons learned in my journey. First, when contacting professionals, I strongly suggest separating the person you are talking to and the profession itself. Why I'm saying this? So the reason I added environmental engineering into my list was, afterwards I realized it, because the environmental engineer I talked to was a person that I was liking. Okay, so he was already an older friend of mine. So I was liking his personality traits. We had a good relationships, etc. So then I realized that, okay, so this is a person doing this, having this profession, but these are two separate entities. I studied in a university that I didn't like too much. So I could have easily selected another engineering discipline in one of my favorable universities. However, as far as I see now, is my decision was fitting to me since I graduated from the university after 5 years. So I'm done, but I have been doing my profession throughout my life. So this is my second lessons learned out of my story.
So you are not like some people, they are starting their career as an engineer and then they don't continue. You continued, so it was fitting on you.
If you have a good rationale behind it, so I completely agree with it. So as I said, so I was a little bit lucky. So maybe my third lessons learned, when I look at my list of selections, I can easily say that computer engineering is the best choice for me. But you know, so at the end, there is some luck in this one as well, but not pure luck, of course. So it's a luck as a result of an informed estimation. So I try to foresee something, I try to estimate something, but I try to come up with an informed decision as well. So that's why I didn't have to switch my career. But if I had to, I would be doing this as well, for sure.
Yes, I think you mentioned really important points. I went to high school in Turkey, so I know the system there. I also anticipated the system in Italy, as it's a bit different. Also, we are speaking with our friends from Germany that they are sharing their experience. It's slightly different, but what is common is maybe in that ages we are not super self-aware that time, and as you said, sometimes we are choosing, we are doing the choices like we are looking up someone or we like a lesson, or our family or our teachers, they are saying us what to do. No, in my opinion, you were also lucky that you had a chance to have the support in the areas that you needed to become what you want. No, maybe it could have been evaluated really easily, like, oh, okay, Görkem, you are not good at math, so engineering is not an option for you. Let's go somewhere else. However, somehow instinctively maybe you knew it and you had the support, and then you overcome this barrier for you, if I may say.
Exactly. So it's a very valid and very good point as well. As you say, so you receive many inputs during your decision process. Let's say maybe it takes 1 to 3 years during this period. So I think that it's good to have several inputs from several people, but the important point is, do not listen to anyone. Okay, so just take these inputs as a data and process it with your own realities. You have your own preferences, you have your own expectations, etc. So that's why it's very important to process all of these input and create and shape your future by yourself. So this is very important.
You're exactly speaking like a software engineer. So we are collecting the data and then we are processing it and then we are acting on it. Okay, this is really important. And also, I think what you said is really good about if I would be aware this profession is not fitting on me anymore, I will change. It is really important, no? I was struggling a bit before to change my career because I said I gave a lot of effort to become an engineer. It was highly challenging education. Then I did a master. I spent my years on it, so I should continue somehow. But as you know, the life is not like that. And in some point, you need to do decisions based on many criteria. And in some point, in my experience, I realized, okay, it doesn't mean you spend 8 years of your life for this, you will spend the next, we don't know how many. So these are really good points. Thank you for highlighting this. And I'm a bit curious about, of course, we said we are using the engineer's perspective as a metaphor, and we won't delve too deeply into the specifics of the engineering. However, I would like to highlight a bit what is engineering, what are the foundations of it, and also at the same time, I would like to encourage our participants to share maybe little highlights of their story in the chat, and then we can collect them. Also, you can do this, of course, if you are watching us now on YouTube, you can do the comments. Yes, so what is engineering, Görkem?
Okay, let me start. Maybe I can have a kind of an informal definition for this one. So engineers solve real-world problems by using mathematical and scientific knowledge. So this is a simple but yet effective definition that I'm generally using. So what do we mean? So engineers just build bridges. Engineers like me develop software. Engineers just design and develop medical devices, production machines, etc. So in essence, engineering combines creativity with technical knowledge and also scientific knowledge to address challenges and improve the world and our lives as well. So when we talk about engineering, of course, we have to talk about math and scientific knowledge, which forms the foundation of engineering. So they provide, I mean, science and math, they provide the tools, frameworks, and the language to structure problems and design solutions. So, and sometimes you try to validate the feasibility of a solution using math and science as well. So also these allow us to collaborate with other people. I mean, people from other disciplines as well, since it's also a common ground on which we collaborate, co-think, and co-create. Let me give one example about the importance of math in my profession. So you may have heard about machine learning, which is a subfield of artificial intelligence, which is now a very hot topic around the world. So the foundations of machine learning is math, specifically calculus for optimization, linear algebra for data representation and data operations, and also statistics for making inferences. Okay, so machine learning engineers or computer engineers who are just dealing with machine learning or artificial intelligence should have such mathematical foundation to be a good engineer. On top of this, of course, this is not sufficient because each of the engineering discipline has its own body of knowledge. So when we talk about computer engineering, which I graduated from, besides math and science, we had lectures on hardware. We had to understand how a hardware works, so how our computers work. So what is the processor? What is the memory? What is a hard drive, etc. So we had to understand how the computers interact, so exchange data, which is networking. So we need to understand how software is engineered, which means how we can understand the requirements to develop a software. After understanding these requirements, how we can design a solution, how we can code, how we can test, how we can maintain a software. All of these technical knowledge is being taught in the universities. On top of this, math and science foundational knowledge. But of course, if you ask me that, is this the whole story to become a successful engineering? The answer would be no. Why? Because this is the formal education that we are receiving throughout the university. So we gain this foundational knowledge and plus technical knowledge from the university. But there is also another side of the coin that we have to focus. And also you mentioned in your during your introduction as well, there are also soft skills whose importance are undebatable.
Yes, and also again, during the starting from the primary school to the high school, it's a bit like if you're a good student, I'm saying it not like it is used generally. However, if you're a good student, it means that you are good at math, you are good at physics, biology, chemistry, and this is the one they're encouraging you. No, they are saying you're intelligent, you're smart, you can choose this, you can do this. However, also in my experience, I don't know how it is now, but also if you would like to share, if we have other engineering students that you are listening us now, or the opposite, please write. Often my observation is soft skills, especially for technical schools like engineering, it's overlooked. Like they have secondary importance. They are not so important. And then we have the problems like we have really good engineers, but they cannot present their ideas.
Yes, exactly. Or collaborate.
Or they don't know how to work as a team.
Yeah.
Or they are too much focused on what they do in their profession, in their study, and you see that they are a bit lack of social life. Don't ask me where I know all these things. So I'm curious. You were always good at this in that part of the job, like social skills, soft skills. And which are the ones you realize they are also really, really important?
Definitely no. I wasn't even aware of. So I can just say this. Okay. So how it did start, maybe I can think of. Of course, there wasn't a precise milestone for that one. But during my undergraduate degree, I wasn't even aware of it, aware of the importance of soft skills. When I went to my second university for pursuing a degree in Masters of Business Administration, I have seen that. So it was one of the top universities in Turkey and one of the top MBA programs in these times. So the instructors just building teams arbitrarily. So generally, you build your teams when you are doing a project work. At least this is what I'm generally observing in Turkey. Okay, you just form your team and you do your teamwork with the team that you selected. But in that university, they were just coming up with the teams predefined, and they were changing the teams from one semester to the another one. Of course, when I heard about this, I was angry because why? So I wanted to be with my closest friends and I wanted to work with them to accomplish my project work.
Yeah, so you now comfortable.
But yes, exactly.
So sorry to interrupt. I'm just curious. They were doing this randomly?
I don't know.
They had a plan. I'm curious about this. Maybe they were realizing the dynamics of the groups and they were putting
maybe
together.
Maybe to us it was not transparent. Okay, so it was either random or it was just being designed, but it was given to us. So then I realized that, or maybe someone else said this who was much cleverer than me, most probably. So I realized that, okay, so this is the situation in the working environment.
Exactly.
When I go, when I attempt to, when I'm a part of an organization, of a team, I'm generally not selecting my teammates. So this is the reality. So that's why you just start to cope with challenges. You just start to understand the importance of team working. You just start to understand the importance of conflict resolution, negotiation, just collaborating towards a goal with people even you dislike. So that's why maybe this was one of the aha moments in my life, that I started to understand the importance of soft skills. In addition, in that program, we started to present as well. So this wasn't one of the practices that we were doing. Of course, I'm talking about 30 years ago. This wasn't one of the practices that we were applying during our undergraduate study as well. Maybe we had a couple of presentations, but during my MBA program, so I had several presentations. So just another arena on which you have to use your soft skills. You have to talk to an audience in an executive way, in an understandable way, without any excitement, in a concise way, etc. So it's not very easy to cope with such challenges, especially as a person who doesn't have the ability, plus who is not even aware of the importance of doing this.
Yes. Also, it's coming to, I came up with this idea. Also, they put a line between two levels, because there is the friendship level you are developing throughout your education, and there's also professional level. And in the friendship, you need to like your friends, or you're not becoming friends. However, while you're working in a team, that maybe you are working with people personally you don't like, but it doesn't matter. You have a common goal and you need to work as joins of the same team. And this is really good. You want to continue, or this part we can move?
Yes. Actually, I would like to share maybe formal information about that one, because I'm using this when I'm talking to young people. Even I'm making presentations to the university students about this one. So in the industry, we are talking about hard skills, so which are generally job or task specific, that can be measured more or less objectively and can be learned directly. What I mean, an example, being able to code in Python programming language is a hard skill. It's task specific. You can measure whether a person can develop code using Python language, etc. And someone can just learn it by looking at the books, by watching videos, by practicing, etc. So he or she just can learn this directly by studying. Also, we are talking about, apart from hard skills, we are talking about soft skills, which are much more generic, not job or task specific. They can be assessed generally subjectively, not very objectively, because some person may say that, okay, so at communication, this person is very well. For another position, it may not be sufficient, so it's subjective. Also, they can be learned or developed, even not learned, indirectly, and it takes not days, weeks, months, I'm afraid, sometimes years, more than couple of years. Because,
Lifetime.
yes, lifetime. Exactly. And within this one, soft skill, in one of the taxonomies that I came across, says that we can have another two-level categorization, which I do like personally, interpersonal skills, which means skills about people. So communication, being able to communicate clearly and effectively, effective and cooperative relationships. So being able to build such relationships, empathy. We have talked about teamwork. So all of such skills which are related to people. So it makes very much sense, because why? At the end of the day, we are part of a team. Okay, so we are part of our family, we are part of our team in our organization, we are part of we are one of the employees of our larger organization, etc., etc. Or within this project, yourself, Tuba, are forming a team. So this is one of type of soft skills that we have to focus on. The second one is also very important, very generic, which are conceptual skills. These are also valid for all of the professions. So, which is, let me give some of the examples. Logical thinking. So, concept formation, conceptualization of complex relationships, creativity in idea generation and problem solving. So these are general conceptual cognitive skills that we have to improve, we have to develop as well. So when we have a look at these interpersonal skills and conceptual skills, we are not receiving any direct formal education, which is also not possible in several cases during our university education. So that's why we have to be aware of these skills that we have to focus on, we have to improve throughout our lives. And one of the important features of soft skills are, so hard skills, we generally use them in our professional lives, mostly, but soft skills are lifelong with us, plus it's applicable to all of the areas of our lives. So if you are a good communicator, so I'm communicating well today, I will be communicating very well tomorrow during my work, I will communicate very well with my wife, with my son, etc. So it's applicable throughout my life with all of my roles. So that's why soft skills are much more generic, and to me also very, very important to focus on. Of course, no need to say that hard skills and soft skills in terms of profession are complementing each other. So after saying too much things about soft skills, please do not think that hard skills are unimportant. So they both complement each other. But for hard skills, we have at last a formal education in the university. But for soft skills, we are generally left even unattended. Mm-hmm. So we have to be aware of the importance of soft skills as well.
Yes, now maybe the young people a bit more lucky than us on this point, because they have more resources that they can
hopefully
receive this kind of training for themselves, because also maybe the universities are changing now based on the changes happening now throughout the all areas of the world. Now it is important also to have the skills to learn how to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
This is one of the important skills, knowing where you can find the information, where you can find what you need, and how you can develop it. Of course, there is practice all the time. On this point, I wanted to ask you, while you were speaking, you said that during your master's, you were you were in your master's degree, you had this kind of environment that they were building teams, you had to work with people, you had to use your soft skills to achieve your goals, and you started to gain these soft skills. And then, of course, it continued during your career. I want to ask you how these skills contributed to your career and your life. You spoke a bit like it improved your all of the relationships that you have. However, also apart from the master's education, how you had them?
So actually, after being aware of the importance of these, of course, it's a kind of a journey. Okay, so you can never say that I'm very good at communication, I'm very good at time management, I'm very good at teamwork, I'm done. So there is always, as we said at the beginning, so there is always room for improvement for that one. So that's why after I created this awareness, and I also increased the level of awareness also much more. So during my MBA, okay, I realized it, but how much did I focus on developing, on improving my skills, my soft skills? It's a more or less question marks, at least in the early days of my career. But afterwards, the older you become, so you realize that you have to communicate much better. You have to just resolve conflicts much better. You have to be much more constructive because you are just facing many challenges, you are solving many problems, sometimes you are complaining, etc., etc. So when you start to accumulate experiences, you realize that there is too much room for improvement. That's why, so even if not in my early years of my career, I started to focus on, I started to invest in improving my soft skills. So I started to read. There are lots of good books on these soft skills. Of course, there are lots of kind of a not unusable or very practical, but do not have any scientific knowledge behind, etc. Because, you know, so personal development is one of the areas that people are trying to make money as well. So that's why there are lots of good books on improving soft skills, as well as some other books that you have to stay away from as well. So I started to read. I started to reflect myself. I started to ask questions to myself. I started to watch videos of inspiring people. Of course, I'm talking about in last 10 years. I'm not talking about 20 years when we didn't have any YouTube, etc. But you know, all of the inputs, all of these data, I'm trying to just get, as I said at the beginning of this webinar, so there is no ready-to-use recipes there. So that's why I started to just read and read and read, listen. Then afterwards, I started to just digest all of these data and try to adapt to my realities, to my traits, to my preferences, to my expectations, to my to the way that I'm living. So that's why after having this awareness, I just established a kind of a track, soft skill improvement track, which continues until I die, by the way, okay? Supported by inspiring people and also books, etc. Of course, it benefited me very much in my professional life as well. Communication, so I'm handling communications with several stakeholders at different levels. So I'm talking some very executive level people. So you have to communicate how to talk to them, how to write an email to them. So it's very important. You cannot just write and send an email to a very high level executive, to an executive committee member just you are writing an email to your friend. So I started to learn these by practicing. Another one, as I said, so negotiation, resolving conflicts, because there are always conflicts when you are doing something. Time management is another one. So I have to manage my time, because when I just throughout my career ladder, so I have to manage my time much better and better, because I have much more accountability. I have much more responsibilities. That's why I have to manage my time very effectively and efficiently. Another one is team management. When you move on with your career, you may have a team, which means you have much more responsibilities. You have to deal with several people with different personality traits, etc. You have to handle them. You have to motivate them to move, resolve conflicts with people, etc. Also, another one is dealing with unclear things, uncertainty. Another one. In this case, conceptual thinking, structuring all the facts, data, formulating the correct questions helped me a lot. And last but not least, of course, having a vision and also walking towards that vision is also another one which I can say. But of course, I cannot give a complete list of the soft skills that I'm utilizing. Even some of them maybe I'm not aware of.
And also it depends which kind of environment you are working, which ones you are using. However,
yes, exactly.
There are some, I don't want to say basic ones, but there are some that we are using much more than the others, that they can help us. Also being aware and being educated on this point, maybe throughout your education, also it's going to prepare you better for the work life, business life.
Yeah, exactly.
You spoke about communication with different stakeholders in all different levels, negotiation, time management, problem solving, team management. You said I realized that you didn't use leadership, but team management. Also, I like this term so much. Maybe because it is, when we are talking about leadership, it can be also taken like you have to follow a leader. However, team management is something else. It's like you're facilitating a team.
Exactly. So maybe in terms of maybe when we define leadership, so we may not call it as a soft skill, because leadership is a kind of a collection of knowledge, abilities, skills, experiences. So that's why generally it's being called a kind of a competency.
Competence.
Yes, exactly, because you have to just combine several soft skills plus some experience, some knowledge, etc., into one area, so that you can be called as a leader. Of course, this is not black and white, but we can maybe define leadership in this way. So that's why developing all of these soft skills also helped me to build kind of a leadership competency as well. Because as you pointed out, if you are managing a team, so more or less you are becoming a leader. Okay, so you may not be a very inspiring or top level leader, but nevertheless, since you are managing a team, so you are leading that team. So that's why having these soft skills counts when you are leading that team. Even having having this knowledge on soft skills helps you on deciding how to lead. Okay, so you can just choose one way of leading. Okay, do this, do that. But in my style, so after reading several styles of leadership, which is, again, an investment in soft skills, I'm more kind of a leader who just removes barriers so that my team performs much better, rather than saying them do this and that. So I'm trying to just enable them to perform much better. So even having this vision, selecting this type of leadership style requires a kind of a knowledge, kind of an experience, which is hidden behind this literature of soft skills.
And while you were speaking, you said that there are many publications, books, podcasts, YouTube videos on this point. It's also in line with our project that we aim to inspire people, inspire and support them to achieve their goals. We would like to share with our participants the books, the publications, the resources that you mentioned. So we prepared you a list actually, and we are going to share with you in our YouTube channel. In the explanation part, description part, you can find them. So also it's important to use our time efficiently. Now, since maybe the last 5 years, these topics became really famous. There are many resources. We need to also have the competence to understand which one is useful for us, which one is not.
Exactly.
So it's really valuable, and thank you for sharing your experience on this point with us too. And also, you studied philosophy.
Yeah.
I am a bit curious about this too. It's giving me the. I'm guessing that you realize you needed something more than the hard skills while you were studying engineering.
Actually, it was another coincidence, maybe called, but due to my curiosity. So I was working. I was just studying some academic topics under software engineering. So meanwhile, I came across to some topics like ontology, etc. So which is a term, important term within philosophy. So when I came across these concepts within software engineering, I started to dig in more. I started to ask questions, and I ended up with some resources on philosophy. Then afterwards, I started to dig in a little bit more. Then I realized that I'm missing the opportunity to understand the foundation of everything. So maybe I may call this like this. Okay. So yes, foundation of everything, because so the history of ideas starts with philosophy. So we didn't have any science, any religion, etc., before we did have this philosophy.
Maybe critical thinking.
Yes, exactly. So that's why. So throughout the years, I realized that. So I would like to have a kind of a knowledge, at least introductory level knowledge on that one. Of course, I didn't have too much to study to move on with a kind of a full-time program in a university. So that's why I preferred. By the way, I like this service in Turkey. So you can just have an undergraduate degree on some of the pre-selected topics through a distance education. Of course, you cannot compare the quality with a full-time program for sure, but it's much better than nothing. So that's why I just started with this distance education program, and I completed it again in 4 years. Of course, I can say that I didn't learn that much that I have planned, but now I have some idea about philosophy. And also it gained me lots of skills, which is I mentioned among conceptual skills. So conceptual thinking. So philosophy is about concepts, about reasoning, about logic. So which we are using in most of our decision-making processes. So that's why having some knowledge, some formal knowledge on these were very valuable for me. Besides, so it was very interesting to learn about the history, how the ideas have been developed. So this is another good part of such an education of having a philosophy degree for me. So as I said before, for soft skills, it's also a never-ending journey for me as well. So I will continue to read on philosophy, study on philosophy throughout my life as well, because I think that so it also gives me different perspectives, different views on thinking about the topics, about the challenges, about the lives, about most of the concepts that are crucial for our lives.
Thank you for this. And Tuba shared with you some suggestions about the books on chat. You can take them and you can reach more, as I said, in YouTube channel. You also mentioned the vision and planning as a soft skill. And particularly, it's important for me that I work as a professional coach. And also, again, from a personal experience, I realize 6 years before now, I built a vision for myself throughout a coaching exercise. And that time, as I told before, I was thinking I'm going to work in ministry at the end of my career. It was the idea. However, I built a vision. I explored that part of me. Actually, 2 days ago, I realized now, in this 6th year of this vision, I arrived that point. So I think it's really, really important, that part. And vision and planning, again, they are famous. We hear a lot about these definitions. However, it's important to put a vision maybe in a sufficient way, no, based on your values, your beliefs, where you want to go, and considering all the roles of life that you also mentioned before. And then maybe we can call universe, maybe we can call luck, maybe we can say that when we have a clear map in front of us, the journey is more clear. I would like to explore a bit these terms more with you. What do you mean? What is your description of having a vision and planning?
Actually, as you said, having a vision is very important. So people by themselves have vision or must have a vision. Governments have vision. Companies have vision. Organizations have vision. So even you have a vision for a project or for a kind of a program as well. So as you mentioned, vision is the point where you want to go. So very, very simply. So you just dream of a kind of a picture of your future you would like to shape, actually. By doing this vision provides you a direction and purpose. So, and also it motivates you by aligning your efforts towards a common goal. So when you know where to go, then afterwards you can just allocate your resources. You can just put your effort towards that journey. So, and planning hand to hand with vision involves breaking down the vision into actionable steps and also coming up with a kind of a roadmap to achieve that vision. So you can say that
also defining the strategies, no?
Yes, exactly. So all of the resources, setting short-term, long-term goals, outlining the strategies, as you mentioned, or tactics to reach these goals. So a well-structured plan helps you translate that vision into reality. So by having a plan, you ensure that you remain focused, you remain organized, etc. So in a nutshell, the vision acts as the guiding star.
Mhm.
So where to go. Also provide a sense of direction, where to go, and helping prioritize actions and decisions, what to do and what to neglect as
Mhm.
well. The plan outlines the steps necessary to reach that vision. So it answers the question how to get there. There means the point that you would like to achieve, which is your vision. Of course, having a vision, having a plan. Okay, we did this. This is kind of a planning practice. Then afterwards, of course, while doing planning, you have to make assumptions because you cannot control everything. So there are external factors that you depend on. So that's why when you did a plan, when you come up with a plan, to me, rather than having a plan, planning effort, planning endeavor is much more valuable. Why? While doing this planning, you are just deciding on which criteria are important for me, which criteria are not. So what are my assumptions? The assumptions that I have to continuously watch, the assumptions that I can neglect. So that's why you think about this, because the plans may not happen. You may not realize your plans due to external factors, of course. But nevertheless, this planning practice is very, very important. So you have to have a vision, you have to do this planning, you have to have a plan, and based on the changes of on the external factors, you need to revise your plans as well. So one of the important topics that I would like to underline is, some of the young people may say that, hey, every time I'm planning, but I'm not able to realize my plan. Okay, please check out how you are planning. If you are planning properly and your plans are not happening, not being realized, please have a look at why they are not being realized. If they are not being realized due to your unrealistic expectations, etc., please turn them into realistic expectations. If they are not being realized due to external factors, okay, please replan. Do not just overlook planning, saying that, hey, I'm doing a plan, but I never able to realize it. That's why I'm saying that planning practice is much more important compared to realizing a plan, because there are always assumptions, there are always external factors that you cannot control. So that's why please revise your plans and give more importance to this planning practice.
As I understood, also flexibility on this point is really important. Or we can enter the trap like, okay, I have done a plan, but the plan didn't work. I could not achieve my goal, so I give up. It's not working. Instead of this,
exactly.
We need to spend time on planning. How to plan again, how to change the goals, or how to change the strategies to reach our goals.
Exactly.
It's really interesting, this part, because I would like to say to you, you also mentioned now the things are getting more uncertain than ever. We are living in an era that we cannot predict so much the future. We are speaking for the young people. They're also struggling on this point. The world is uncertain right now. There are really fast technological developments like artificial intelligence. They are speaking of losing some of the professions, having others. They are saying we need to always, we spoke about continuous learning, but we need to update ourselves, the skills, the knowledge, the competences that we have, because there are others, they are required, they are coming. And often the education system also is not able to catch all these uncertainties, the changes, and adapt themselves. So it is also not easy to put a vision in this kind of environment. We cannot say in 5 years, I'm going to be okay, but in 5 years, who knows what's going to happen? And according to you, you already entered a bit. What are the skills that they can support us to continue to achieve our goals, put other goals, be flexible, and then pace with this change?
Yes, as you pointed out, so the pace of change is, how can I say, incredible, I should say. So even we have seen, as a person that I have seen, so maybe the last 30 years, we have seen many developments, including the introduction of internet, I mean, or in our private homes, etc., etc. So having this e-commerce, having these tech companies just growing and growing, they are providing new services, products, etc., etc. Now even this pace has accelerated with AI, of course. So one of the fueling factor is that one. So what I can say, of course, so when we say that the pace of change is increasing, we are talking about much more, even shorter term unclarities. So, and as you pointed out, the education system is lagging behind. So they are not able to keep up. They are not able to update their content in parallel with the pace of change. Even the governments are not able to update their regulations in line with the pace of change, I should say.
Yes, because there is a system and you need to change all the system. There are many levels. You have to intervene in all these levels. So it's really challenging.
Exactly. So that's why. So I will not be just proposing rocket science or unbelievable suggestions here. I don't have them because, you know, if there is a change, you have to update yourself. That's easy. So which means continuous learning to me. So you need to be committed to ongoing personal and professional development. This is for sure. I can even observe this within my organization now as well. We are saying people, hey, upskill. Hey, have some trainings and try to gain new skills because the working environment is changing. And we are saying this even to people who are maybe 40, 45 years old because they have to adapt. So that's why continuous learning is one of the most important skills, as you also mentioned. So people should learn how to learn. Okay, just learning a skill. Okay, learning a body of knowledge, they are important, but also finding the proper resources, having a plan to learn a new skill is also an important meta skill, let's call, to build new skills for yourself. It's very important. So continuous learning. Another one is, so since this pace of change is being fueled by technology, you have to be techie you have to be digitally literate. So this is another one that you have to have in your skill set as well. So proficiency in using digital tools, understanding digital trends are very, very crucial for us. Maybe I can give 2 examples. These are, by the way, not suggestions. I mean suggestions. I suggest young people to learn. No, these are just new skills that very recently emerged, maybe dying after 2 years. I don't know. But just 2 examples so that maybe our attendees can Google it, have some idea about this. Okay, so it emerged maybe 2 years ago, but they might be even dying after 5 years. I don't know. The first one is prompt engineering. So nowadays people are talking too much on that one because, you know, we have been just talking about large language models since November 22. As far as I recall, ChatGPT, Google's Gemini. So we have large language models behind these. So prompt engineering is kind of a skill which enables you to instruct a large language model so that you can get a proper output. So it means that how you formulate your questions, how you have a conversation with the large language model also defines the quality of the output that you are receiving. So this is prompt engineering, very recently emerged skill. How much will stay with us? A question mark. Another one, again from my area, is citizen development. As the development environments became more mature, even people without any coding knowledge have started to have some platforms on which they can just develop kind of a application without writing any code. We call such platforms no-code or low-code platforms. And the practice of having this is citizen development. What does citizen development means? Citizen developers are business users, not IT people, not technical people like me, not software engineers, etc., with little or no coding experience, who build applications on these platforms. What do they know? They know the business process very well, and they automate or they develop an application based on their business knowledge by utilizing that platforms. Such platforms are also available. 30 years ago, software engineers, even computer engineers, were coding in HTML, which is the basic language behind these web pages. Computer engineers were doing this, but now not anymore. With recent tools, even 10, 15 years ago, a person without any technical knowledge can just build a web page without any coding experience. So with such tools, also this digital literacy is becoming much more close to the business people as well. So that's why such skills, prompt engineering, citizen development, are also emerging due to such technological advancements as well. Another one, apart from, I said continuous learning, I said digital literacy, another one is resilience. So I have to mention this. This is also one of the just terms, concepts that we started to hear. Maybe it's also something that we should hear due to be able to cope with such a high pace change. Which means the capacity to recover quickly from setbacks, very, very briefly. And resilience helps you maintain focus and motivation even when faced with obstacles or failures. So which is very, very important. And I just came across one very nice speech which is available on YouTube, by the way. Roger Federer, I'm sure that all of you know, who is a tennis legend. So he gave a speech at Dartmouth College a couple of days ago, I assume. He said that how many matches did I have? 1,526 singles matches. He won almost 80% of these games, 80%, which is a good percentage. And he asked the listeners, the audience, how many percent of the points did I win in these games? He said that 54. Approximately half of them.
Yeah.
For each 2 points, he lost 1. And he said that you are losing anytime. You are facing failure anytime. When you lose a point, a match, a season, a job, just accept it. If you want to cry, cry. This is your feeling, no problem, and leave it behind. Move on, learn more, practice more, work harder, and grow. So this is the experience of a tennis legend. Out of 2 points, he lost 1. Yes.
Wow.
So I think that it's a very good explanation how he applied resilience. So he failed every 1 of 2 points. But now he is one of the tennis legends.
Yes, so the success is not built only how much you won. It's also
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
It reminded me that there is there's an illustration that shows a juggler in a circus. No, he's throwing the plates, and he's doing such a perfect job. Then, when you are going a bit back, you are seeing all the plates, they're already broken behind him. So what we are seeing actually, it's a success, it's a legend. However, there are failures and success and effort behind it.
Yeah.
So it's actually, I was planning to ask you this, but you already said to you. I just want to do a little contribution to resilience. Also, we hear a lot. And in 2012, Nassim Nicholas Taleb came up with another definition that is 2 steps further than resilience. Because as in engineering, we know, as you said, it's like there's a stressor, there's a pressure, there is some environmental challenges for the material, and then the material is resisting. And he's saying resisting is not enough. And we are people. We cannot stay same after a pressure, after an uncertainty or chaos or stress situation. We are changing. The important thing is not resisting, however, becoming better, taking advantage from the stress, chaos, the uncertainty. So using the uncertainty as a tool, as a strategy to do better, to do more.
Yeah.
And we are going. I'm suggesting this book.
Yeah.
That he has really good 2 books. One of them is Black Swan. The other is Anti-Fragility. I mean, it's giving you a perspective. So, according to my experience, also I want to ask yours. Apart from all these skills, what was important and I missed when I was younger, let's say, it's networking. It's really important too. What do you think about this?
Actually, you are right. So again, we can just see it during our project assignments during the university, but so maybe we were not that much mature to realize this as well. But every time in every endeavor, so we are part of a group, of a larger group. So that's why we are naturally interconnected with other people. And also building this network is very, very important. Being aware of it, being aware of the importance of it, and also starting to build it as early as possible. Of course, properly, consciously, etc. So not arbitrarily, based on your vision, based on your plans, in line with your plans, of course. Networking is very, very crucial aspect of both personal and professional development, I should say. As students, when we were students, so undertaking some projects with your friends, collaborating to learn together, attending to student contests. So I did it once during my MBA as well. So with one of my close friends, so we did write a business plan. It took us maybe weeks. So we attended to a contest in which we presented that one. We received feedback, etc. So it's a kind of a endeavor, ending up with some contact with other people, with other professionals who might be interested in your work, actually. So as students, we have several opportunities besides networking, online networking, which didn't exist when I was a student, even during my early career. So today we have some platforms like LinkedIn on which you can have just your online presence. So you do not have to put too much into it, but you can have a very concise information that is describing you. So having a presence in such respectable platforms is another start for networking. Another one is in-person activities. So after selecting a profession, so there are several communities, there are some professional organizations, etc., in which you can take part, in which you can be a member of, etc. So that's why this is another important medium to build a network. Seeking for mentorship, coaching is another one, So even though you may say that, okay, so it's a different kind of a networking, but nevertheless, so a mentor, a coach can just direct you to proper communities, to proper organizations, to proper people to be connected as well. Also, it's valid for our profession, maybe for some of the other engineering disciplines as well. So presence on the internet is another one, which will support your networking endeavor as well. If you have something, a web page on the internet, maybe if you are a software engineering with kind of a code repository, so that you can just provide a showcase for the people who might be interested in your hard skills, you can also start to develop such a presence on the internet as well. So there are several media that can support our networking endeavor. And it's very, very important to shape our future as well, because you have a vision, you have a plan, but you generally do not realize your plans and your vision by yourself. You have to be a part of a larger group, which means you have to build this through your networking.
Mm-hmm. So, as we are coming to the almost conclusion. Görkem, we developed our hard skills, soft skills, we did networking, we became more resilient, we build our vision, planning, we are so motivated, we are enlarging our community, we are going to get hired. We are going to arrive at what we want. It is enough.
Actually, the answer is no, because this doesn't totally depend on you. So that's why we will do our best. We will put our best effort. Then afterwards, we will wait, or we will not wait. We will try until we will realize. We fail, we retry, we fail, we retry, we revise our plan, etc., etc. So, of course, doing all of these will significantly enhance the chance of achieving success, for sure, in professional life. However, there is no guarantee. So, because the success depends on a combination of factors, one of which is your factor, your effort, your set of skills, for sure. But there are also other factors that you cannot control. So timing, opportunities available in the market, economic conditions, etc. So you have to depend on this. So that's why we can do our best. We get prepared, then we will see the result, then we will readapt and move on based on the results we achieve actually. Of course, while doing this, another important question we all need to ask, that I failed to ask, by the way, this is another lessons learned from my professional life, is how do we select the organizations we work for?
They are not choosing us, we are selecting them.
Actually both. So I see this as a kind of a marriage. So you are selecting your partner, and your partner is selecting yourself as well. So I was thinking that, yes, the company is selecting me, recruiting me. No, I'm also making my decision to be an employee of that organization as well. And I wasn't aware of this. So whenever I did get,
this is really interesting. Honestly, also I didn't. I never thought like this. It's like when you're applying for a job, it's like you already chose to work with these people. However, also maybe the terms are good and they're hiring you, but I don't know if it fits to you, this organization. It is really different point of view.
Exactly. So that's why when applying for a job, or even if the opportunity finds you, you have to think about whether you would like to be a part of that endeavor. So it doesn't have to be an organization, by the way. So you might prefer to work part-time. You may prefer to work independently. You may first prefer to work in a large corporation, then switch to a startup, small startup, etc., etc. So in all cases, we have to consider whether we have to think about whether this is the right move. By meaning right, I'm not talking about an absolute correctness. Proper move for our vision, for our plans, for our preferences, for our expectations. So it's very, very important. So maybe to name a few criteria that I can come up with. So in which industry you would like to work in? So automotive industry is a little bit different than maybe airlines. It's a little bit different than finance, a little bit different than software development, etc. So what is the industry you would like to be in? How do you foresee the future of that industry? If you would like to work in an organization, which size should it be? Which one is better for you? Large scale, mid scale, small scale? So all of them has its own characteristics, which may or may not fit into your expectations. Organizations' reputations. So it's also very important. Culture of the working environment. It's very, very, very important because, you know, you are spending a considerable time in your working environment with your working colleagues. So that's why the culture is very important. Take me as an example. I cannot be present in a very, very competitive, in a very highly stressful environment. So this will not overlap with my expectations at all. So that's why, so I would like to prefer in a working environment in which the organization values work-life balance for sure, etc. So the culture is also another important one. Another important criterion for me, which I didn't realize maybe until a couple of years ago, you have a profession, and how is your profession positioned in that organization? So are you directly contributing directly to the core business of the organization, or are you a supporting function? Let me give an example. As a computer engineer, as a software engineer, I would be a support function in a bank, because banks are working in financial industry. Their core business is about finance, not developing high-end software. No. So if I would be working in a bank, then I would be a support function, because IT is supporting information technologies, digital technologies are supporting a bank to do banking business. When I'm working in a software development company, I would be a part of the core business. Because why? I'm directly developing software, and this company exists for developing software products. So that's why this is another crucial separation for me as well. So the same applies to food engineer, mechanical engineer, industrial engineer, etc., etc. So how is your positioned? How is your role positioned within the organization, within the big picture? It's also very, very important. And last but not least, of course, the growth and development opportunities. Of course, it's coming from the industry trends. Of course, it's coming from the vision of the organization that you may want to work for, etc. But these growth and development opportunities are also another important criterion to select where to work.
Thank you very much. This really contributed also my professional career, this kind of point of view. I didn't have it, honestly. And as a last question, we spoke about the change and artificial intelligence. And I know personally you are interested in the topic. Of course, you are not an expert, or you are not working in that field. However, very shortly, like 5 to 7 minutes, how do you think it's going to affect our future? I'm really curious about your point of view, because there are people, they are really supporting and the contrary. So what is your point of view about artificial intelligence?
It's a tough question. I will try to present my current view, which will evolve, by the way. Okay, so currently, maybe the short answer of this is we don't know. The short answer is this one, because even when I follow the experts in this area, they are not aligned as well. There are contrary, directly opposite views on the future of AI as well. But how I see is, so in one aspect, so we have seen such revolutions with industrialization, we built machines, we automated production. You remember tens of years ago. So it was a kind of a change. And these machines replaced people. Then another one is digitalization without AI. Okay, so which I mean traditional software without AI capabilities, without machine learning capabilities. What do I mean? People are just coding such applications. So even our operating systems, Windows operating system, even though it has some small machine learning or AI components, it's just coded by software developers and it's deterministic. Okay, so all of the code, when we read it, we can just understand it because we know what will happen after this code will be executed, even though it's, of course, millions of codes, etc., etc. So it was another kind of a revolution because this also resulted in some job losses, some replacement of people as well, because it brought another kind of an automation. Let me give a very simple example. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, the companies are just receiving a printed invoice. It's printed on a paper. You are receiving that invoice. What you have to do it, most probably you have a kind of an application and you have to enter the summary information on that invoice into that software. And this used to be a manual process. Someone was just doing this. But even though this is the case, you were just digitalizing this invoice. Then what happened? Electronic invoice systems just emerged. Now, just companies are sending to each other electronic invoice. No more paper invoices anymore. So that's why, without any machine learning, without AI, we just replaced these people because we do not need such a task to be performed within a company. So the number of people in accounting departments shrunk, decreased. Now, what is happening is, again, a kind of a revolution, again, a kind of a automation, say. What is different from a couple of aspects? I would like to just explain this. First, how is this happening? I mentioned about traditional software. Software developers were coding because they know how to code. Okay, so they know how to record a piece of information about an invoice on a software. They know this, they code this. With machine learning, with artificial intelligence, we started to build systems which we cannot build via traditional ways of developing software, which means, let me give an example. Now we have very simple picture recognition software, even on your mobile. When you are trying to shoot a photo, it can just recognize a face, right? This is not a traditional software because you cannot, none of the software developer can tell a computer how to realize, how to recognize a face. Because even I can ask you, you cannot define me how you are recognizing that you see my face now on the screen. You can say you have two eyes, you have your nose, you have your mouth. Okay, but this is not sufficient. With machine learning, with AI, we started to build some models that can learn from data for the tasks that human cannot describe how they are performed. It's also valid for autonomous driving as well. I'm sure that most of you can drive very well. But if I give you a pen and paper, okay, please describe how you are driving. But every little tiny rule that you are obeying, every little tiny decision that you are making. You cannot tell this.
Impossible.
It's impossible because even you do not know it.
No.
Okay.
And every time
But,
it changes.
yes, exactly. So what AI brought is this one. So first, this is also very important. So they started to do such tasks which haven't been otherwise possible. First. The second one, on top of this, generative AI. With ChatGPT, it boomed, right? So now we can see that it creates something. It creates a piece of text. It creates a picture. It creates video, right? So even from a piece of text, it can produce a video or a picture. Again, it has more or less the same logic. It learned from enormous data, the patterns that generally humans cannot describe from enormous data. And now it's at a point where it can generate something. These aspects are a little bit different. So it's again a revolution. We are again talking about changing skills, replacing people, etc., etc., even for more complex tasks, because they are more capable. Digitally, they are more capable. So now I'm coming. So there are similarities and differences. So similarities, another revolution, again a digitalization. But the difference is they can create new content, generative AI, plus they can make decisions. They can make decisions that even the developers cannot understand. This is another point that we have to care. So currently, ChatGPT, you just ask a question, okay, it returns a response. The people who developed that model cannot tell you why it responded to that sentence. No. They can conceptually explain, but they cannot tell you exactly for that response. So there is a kind of explainability problem in artificial intelligence. So these systems are doing some of the complex human tasks very well, even in some cases better than human performance. But we cannot explain how they are doing this. So when they are making decisions, we cannot trace back and ask the question, why did you decide on this? Like, why did you come up with this result? It's not explainable. So that's why one of the problems, so it's a huge capability, also another problem. Also, Yuval Noah Harari, so he's in the proposed reading list. So you can find the videos on YouTube as well. So he says that that's why AI revolution should be taken care of. Okay, so because it can make decisions. So it's not like the old software, they cannot do this, or technology were also building bombs, but bomb cannot make a decision. Okay, so a human just gives the decision to exploit it or not. So, but for AI, it also makes decisions. So this is the part that some of the people worries about.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, with these extended capabilities, it has the potential of replacing much more complex human tasks, for sure. I can say this. And even today, we can foresee this. So how we can cope with it? So can we have a predefined, precise plan on how to cope with it? Currently, to me, we have to watch out the trends. We have to adapt our plans, our vision based on the trends that is moving on with AI, because we do not know how far will it go, because currently we are only talking about the technological aspect, or mostly talking about technological aspects of AI, but we are not talking about regulations too much. So it has to be regulated, because there are some uncertain situations behind this one. So how this data is collected, data privacy, transparency, as I said, explainability, safety, security, accountability. So all of these, so regulations are lagging behind as well. We do not know what regulations will be in place. So European Union, etc., already started to work on it, but they are lagging still behind. Another one is environmental impact. So currently, AI tools all are free. We can just have access to ChatGPT. I can just ask several questions, but as a single person, I do not know how much energy I'm consuming. I'm just asking questions. Okay, I'm just playing with it. But what is the cost? What is the environmental cost of it currently? Of course, there are some data behind this, but are we talking too much about it? Some people, yes, but most people, no. Another one is economics. In some cases, you replace people with digital systems, but in some cases, it's not economically feasible as well. So I can say that currently, will it be feasible to replace most of the jobs with AI? Would it be economically feasible? I don't know, because it has a cost as well.
Sure.
So that's why behind these technological aspects, which is just moving on with unprecedented pace. So we cannot just stop it for now, but regulations, environmental impact, economical impact, or economical feasibility. So these aspects should be just considered to shape the future of AI as well. That's why it's very unclear. We have to watch out the trends, how it's going. Plus, we have to watch the trends from different people, from different sources as well. Please do not follow just one or two experts who are in favor of deploying AI tools everywhere. Most probably, you have other people with different views, with considering different aspects, which will be very valuable as well. So that's why what I can propose, it's unclear. Just watch out the trends from multiple resources and try to come up with your vision based on the estimations, informed estimations on AI. It will impact us for sure. How much, we will see.
Okay, thank you. I already started to think about what you have said. Sure, there should be regulations. If you cannot trace how you are going to take care of it, how you are going to control, what are the limits?
Yeah.
What is the visibility, impact on environment, impact on health of people, impact on, it means that we will lose also some competences in personal level.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
So it is not, again, all positive, all negative, but we need to inform ourselves and update it on this point.
Exactly. One sentence from OECD report. The adoption, it's an exempt, not my sentence. The adoption of AI requires not just AI expertise, but also skills in creative and social intelligence, reasoning skills, and critical thinking, which emphasizes soft skills.
Yes.
So hard skills might be more short-term in the future, but soft skills, their importance will remain for sure.
Thank you very much, Görkem, to be with us and share your valuable insights and experiences. And we have also some questions for you, Görkem. The first question. In job advertisements, there are a lot of experience expectations for many positions. Does not meeting all of these expectations prevent you from working in that organization?
Actually, as you can imagine, I cannot give a definite answer, but I can provide my view on this because it depends on the recruiter. Some of the recruiters are looking for all of the skills to be present in the candidates. But to me, if I read a job description, so if I meet the major skills, major requirements, then I would apply. So I do not need to possess all of these because, you know, so in some cases they are just writing these job descriptions so very quickly without considering such categorization. For instance, some of the job descriptions has must have, nice to have. So in such job descriptions, must have, yes, you have to possess all of these skills. For nice to have, so it's already nice to have. But if you do not have such an explicit categorization, in that case, if you see that, okay, so I have these major skills and I'm meeting these requirements, then if I were you, I would just apply and take my chance.
I
You are
was.
on. Yes.
Should a new graduate who wants to advance in his her career make it clear that he wants to be a manager or in a certain position, or instead he or she should improve himself, herself, and keep quiet?
Actually, another good question, if I'm able to understand it correctly. So when I decided to have an MBA degree, I was saying that, hey, okay, so I'm more social compared to an average engineer, so I would like to be a manager. Now I can see that, so it's not a proper vision. So being a manager, to me, it's not a vision. So instead, if you would like to manage a team of people, which is fine, by the way, so you need to start from scratch. As a new graduate, you have to start from the beginning. Of course, by saying beginning, so the level that matches your skill set, of course. So if you are advanced, you can just start above a beginning level as well. But the more you work, the more you gain experience, and in parallel, the more you develop your soft skills, then you naturally become a manager in any case. So that's why becoming a manager could be a vision for me. No, it's rather than it's an end result of my endeavor, of my efforts in doing my job very well, plus developing my soft skills.
So be a team member until you become the leader of the team.
Yes, exactly.
So another question. As new graduates or interns, we are often afraid to apply for positions because we think we will be rejected due to our lack of experience in the relevant field. In this case, how should we act? And what strategies should we use to increase our chances of success? What are your advice and suggestions?
Okay. First, of course, you need to check the entry-level jobs. So if you do not have any working experience, then maybe you might be applying for jobs that needs 1 or 2 years of experience. So because you are not too far away. What you can do before starting with your job journey, let's call it, you can just try to add some informal experience into your pocket. So you can do kind of a project with your friends, etc., so that you can have something to tell. it doesn't have to be a startup. It doesn't have to be a software product to be sold. But the person who is interviewing you, if he or she sees that, okay, you are ready to invest your time, your effort in developing yourself and in contributing to their organization, then they would be fine. So that's why everyone is starting with 0 job experience. So this is for sure. So that's why you should be just targeting a proper level, which is no experience or 1 or 2 years of experience. What you can do, just try to have a kind of a training or kind of a 1 or 2 projects with your friends so that you can have something to tell. Of course, tell and also accumulate some informal experience outside your professional life.
On this point, also, we said that our project is an Erasmus Plus project, and Erasmus Plus also offers many possibilities, opportunities to the students, young people. You can also evaluate these possibilities, like as interns in your country, plus also at international level. So you can choose from 2 weeks to 1 year of internship, or even as an employee, because they have also in the program the companies that they are looking for employees. So you can gain this kind of experience before you enter the bazaar of work.
Yeah.
It can be really good. So I shared with you. I'm going to share also in the YouTube channel. There are some links you can use to check. Also, the national agencies of each country. You can check your country's national agency. They provide you the possibilities. And if I would start over, I will definitely do it. It is really good. These programs are excellent. So thank you very much also for your questions and answers, Görkem. You had also an invitation for a workshop about artificial intelligence. We are going to send you later from another association in Turkey. So good. And as we come to the end, our insightful discussion with Görkem, and I want to say thank you from bottom of my heart for sharing these valuable experiences, knowledge, and insights with us. And your perspectives, I believe they contribute in very good way, both personally, also in professional way to all of us. And I also want to thank all our participants from Germany, Italy, and Turkey to be with us in that hour with patience, your engagement, your questions have made this session really a good experience for all of us. And I would like to emphasize what Görkem said before, like, remember, please, the journey to the success involves continuous learning, many failures, and resilience and fragility, and the support of people around us. Please keep an eye out for our upcoming webinars, our podcasts, and live broadcasts that we are going to do as part of InsPower project. And if you want to stay with us closer, you can follow us on Instagram and YouTube. You can subscribe, and we are going to answer all your questions. Okay, promise. Thank you once again for your time and participation, and let's see you in our future upcoming events.
Thank you very much.